Hello, boys and girls. This is Mr. Giamini. You should be on Math Journal page 93. I'll give you a second here to turn to 93. Today we're talking about using formulas. Now, if I read the directions or the example, because I know many of you don't read the directions, you just scroll all the way down. So I'm going to grab my highlighter. It says find the perimeter. Now, if I remember correctly from 5th grade, perimeter is the complete distance around a parallelogram. I'm sorry, parallelogram. This is a parallelogram, or any kind of polygon, the shape that has 3 or more sides. So the variable h, so we have the variable there, the variable h represents the height of the rectangle. And the variable b represents the base of the rectangle. So if I take a look here, I have h here, I have b here. Now, because I have an h over on the left side, I should have an h on the right side. Because I have a base on the bottom, I should also have a base on the top. If I take a look, one way to find the perimeter, of the rectangle is to find the sum. Oh, there's one of our key words from yesterday. Who could tell me what is sum? What is sum again? What type of operation? Very good. It is addition of the lengths of the sides. So one way to do it is right here. I can take per p, which per p you think is going to we'll let p stand for the perimeter. Perimeter equals base plus height plus base plus height. Okay, simple enough. So all that means is once I find what b equals and once I find what h equals, I'm just going to kind of go around in a clockwise manner and add up b plus h plus b plus h. Now, another way is to find the distance halfway around the rectangle and multiply the distance by 2. Now let's talk why that works. Because if I take b plus h, and assuming that, let's just say b is equal to 4, and I'm just assuming this, I don't know for fact, and h is equal to 2. Well, we know 4 plus 2 is 6. So I can just multiply that and get 6 times 2 to get 12, right? And now if I did that the other way, let's see. So if the height over here is 2, that means the height over here is 2 as well. And if the base up here is 4, that means the base down here is 4. Let's add this in our heads. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. So now I see why this formula down here, perimeter equals 2 times base plus height. Now remember, we have the parentheses here. Parentheses tell us to do what? Parentheses tell us to do what's inside of these parentheses first. So I must add before I ever multiply. And this is not the distributive property. We can use it, but because inside here, inside the parentheses, I have 4 plus 2. Those are common terms. So I can add the 4 plus 2 to get 6, and then multiply 6 times 2 and get the 12. So use the formula perimeter equals 2 times base times height to find the perimeter of a rectangle if, oh, now they give me the value for the variable. If b is equal to 8 and 5/10 inches, or we can also call that 8.5 inches. And we're going to call h, we're going to substitute h in the formula for, wherever we see h, we're going to replace that with a 4 and 5/10, or we're going to substitute that with 4 and 5/10. So, taking what my perimeter was, my formula was, I'm going to write it above here. I know the answer's over there, but just because I sometimes think you guys do better if you see it, I have perimeter equals 2 times base plus height. Okay? Now that I know my values, I know that my height, my h, is 4.5. I know that my base is 8.5. Now I just substitute those values into my parentheses. Now the nice thing about addition is it's commutative, so it doesn't matter the order in which I go in, it'll always give me the same answer. So if I mess up which one of these is the height and which one of these is base, it doesn't matter because addition is commutative. It doesn't matter the order, you always get the same number. So I'll plug in p is equal to, the 2 stays the same, that's a constant. It's the variables that'll change, because the values of the variables. So I have the base is 8.5, so I put 8 and 5/10 plus 4 and 5/10. Now I have the numbers substituted in for the variables into my algebraic expression here. And now I'm going to add over here. I'm going to say, I do parentheses first, 8.5 plus 4.5. Well, I'm going to line up my place values. 8's in the ones place, decimal point, 5's in the tenths. 4's in the ones place, decimal point, 5's in the tenths. I add 5 plus 5 is 10. Bring my decimal point down, carry the 110. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Oh, look at that, 13. So I now know that P is equal to 2 times 13. Well, 2 times 13 is 26. Perimeter equals 26. The unit of measure was inches. It's inches. It's not square inches. That's when I'm dealing with area. The inside, I'm dealing with the distance around. That's a linear unit of measure. So that's why I just label it inches. Okay, hope this makes sense to you. Hope it helps as you begin to work on your formulas. You'll be responsible for completing the rest of page 93. Also, doing Math Journal page 94. And then finally, if I take a look here on page 95, it's a little different. Now, I'm going to go over here and highlight the rule. You could probably underline it, circle it. The rule says y is equal to x minus 6 3/10. So all I'm doing is, if I look at my in and out table or my function table, I'm going to, wherever I see an x, I'm going to plug it in for where I see an x here. If I have a y, I plug it in for y equals here. So if I take a look at number 1, it says rule x minus 6 3/10. Well, this is great. I have the value for x, so I just substitute it into the algebraic expression there, the rule. So now it says y is equal to 37 minus 6 3/10. Oh, I can solve that on a piece of paper somewhere. Let's go to the next one. Uh-oh, I have a negative. This says x is equal to negative 15. So now I have down here y is equal to negative 15 minus 6 and 3/10. Sorry about that. That's a 6 3/10. I get down here. Oh, I don't have an x. I have to find x, but I do know the y is equal to 16 5/10, which is equal to x minus 6 3/10. Now, to solve this one, what I really want to do is I want to isolate this x. I want to get it by itself. Well, I need to keep something on both sides of the equation. If I bring the 16 5/10 over here, now I have nothing over here. So what I really need to do is get rid of this 6 3/10. I need to isolate the x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 6 3/10. Because when I add a number and its opposite, it really just cancels it and leaves me with 0. And then I'll add the 6 3/10 over here. So now I'm just left with the x, which is equal to 5 plus 3, which is 8. Decimal point, 6 and 6 is 12, plus the 1, that gives me 2. Hey, look at that. Y is equal to, or I'm sorry, the x is equal to 22 8/10 for this. I would use the same method to solve this. You're responsible for also page 95. So to review, you have what's left on page 93. Hopefully the video that I just made helped you solve it and understand a little better. You have page 94, which all I'm doing is I'm looking at the formulas. So if I take a look at this one here, I see the formula is area equals 1/2 base times height. I see here formula is c equals 2 times pi times radius. I see here the formula is c equals 1 1/10 times t. I love when they give me formulas because all I'm doing is substituting numbers in. Here I see they give me 2 formulas down here. Here I see they give me a formula down here. So I love formulas. And then you're responsible for page 95. I'm going to guess 95, if anything, will give you the most difficulty. Okay, but I'd like you to give it a shot. Okay, have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.